here in the United States and the rest of like this side of the world, each generation has its one or two anime that it latches onto and claims and is just obsessed with. From Kimba to Astro Boy to Sailor Moon to Dragon Ball Z to Naruto. And now this generation has chosen its own icon, and if you have any knowledge of anime at all, you know that anime is My Hero Academia. Hello everyone, my name is Tom, and welcome back to Let's Talk with Tom, the show where I talk about any animated cartoon show, anime, whatever I want to talk about. But why is My Hero Academia so iconic? Why is this anime the most culturally impactful for those of us on this side of the world? Well everyone, I have something to admit to you. First off, I, Tom of the Roundtable, am not a weeb. I am at best a casual weeb. But I am friends with a ton of weebs. I'm friends with two guys who have a channel called Otaku, which you guys should check out. It's actually really cool. And that's just the surface of my weeb surroundings. Among these circles, I've heard so many arguments against My Hero Academia's objective quality. How the world building is practically non-existent beyond the establishment of the main premise, which that I kind of agree with. Or that the pacing and the division of character development is all messed up, which that I don't necessarily agree with. But above all, for many when compared to any other anime, My Hero Academia is extremely average. Now I mentioned that I'm not a weeb because My Hero Academia is like one of the few modern anime that I actually watch. So I'm just repeating to you what my friends who watch a lot of anime say. I am not saying that My Hero Academia is not among one of the best shows out there. This is not my opinion. I'm going based off of people who are more qualified to have an opinion on this, but it's not my own opinion. However, this does pose a question as to why My Hero Academia is so popular, definitely the #1 anime out there today, if it's not as good as people think it is. Why are there so many cosplayers? Why is there so much fan art? Why is there everything, this whole culture around My Hero Academia, if from a technical standpoint it's not that good? Now we could say that these people are wrong and My Hero Academia is the best anime out there. However, I don't necessarily know if that's true, because quality doesn't always equal success. I'm not gonna put My Hero in the trash and say that it's not worth the hype, but maybe there is something about it, despite the fact that maybe on a technical scale it's not as good as people actually think it is. But maybe there are certain aspects about it that are legitimate that make it worthy of the spot that it has. I believe that there are certain qualities about My Hero Academia that resonate with audiences more than other shows, and that's why it's become so popular. I want to ask all of you in the audience who have seen My Hero Academia a question. In the story leading up to the UA entrance exam, were you invested emotionally? And if you were, then why? Now everyone's going to have their own answer to that question, but I know mine, and it's actually pretty personal. When I was young, I was always the smallest kid. I don't think I was over 4 feet tall until I was 10, and I definitely wasn't over 100 pounds until I was like 13. I was short and I was skinny, but I always saw myself as so much stronger and having so much more potential than anyone else saw. I would get in fights with kids who were a lot bigger than me. And even after I would get beaten into the ground, I would keep getting up and keep coming back for more because I wouldn't let myself give up. Even though I wasn't big enough, I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't whatever enough to actually win a fight, I would not let myself lose. I would not give up. Even when it was completely hopeless for me to keep getting up. Even when I was in incredible pain and tears were coming down my face, I would not stay down because I had that same perspective as Midoriya, where I just wanted to be strong. I just wanted to be like my heroes. I would sign up for sports even though I'd be the smallest kid and the least athletic, and I would have to try my absolute best and go above and beyond just to keep up with the other kids. I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z and pro wrestling. I wanted to be like Goku. I wanted to be like The Undertaker. I wanted to be like these big, larger-than-life guys. These guys who could be strong and overcome any opponent. And now, obviously, I've grown up and the world has changed. My perspective on the world has changed. I'm obviously not out here trying to fight people anymore, because that's not a thing adults do. And today, now, I'm not big, but I would say I'm probably stronger than the average person now due to powerlifting. And honestly, if I were to join a sports club or something, I would probably be one of the best ones there. And I wouldn't have to go above and beyond like I used to have to just to be average. But that little kid who would get beaten up for thinking he's not 50 pounds soaking wet is still somewhere in me deep down. So I know exactly how it feels to want to do these things that I'm not physically or genetically predetermined to do, and feeling humiliated for not being able to do those things. I know how it feels to be helpless and wanting to do everything I possibly can in my power to change that, but knowing that at the end of the day, there's only so much I can actually do, and chances are nature would still hold me back even after putting every % of my energy into changing these things. So seeing Deku in a very similar situation, where he's looking up to All Might the way I looked up to these characters, wishing he could be just like him, and be told at every turn that he's never going to be able to, that he's not good enough, that he's not strong enough, that he doesn't have a quirk. I understand that frustration, and for that reason, as cliche as it is, Deku really resonates with me personally. And even if you don't have that same experience, because I know not everyone does, everyone has felt like they're not good enough, everyone has felt like they're helpless to their circumstances, and everyone has had that moment where they want something that no matter how hard they work towards it, they're never going to get it. And because this main character resonates with us, we automatically attach ourselves and identify with Deku. And something else that I love so much about the beginning of My Hero Academia, this isn't necessarily why it's popular, but something I love about the beginning is the fact that they tackle the idea that hard work alone isn't going to get you anywhere. You need to have the opportunity to work hard, because that's what All Might did for Deku. He didn't hand him his quirk, he didn't hand him a silver platter to success. He gave him the opportunity to work hard and be successful. And without that, Deku would have just been working hard and wouldn't be hitting that same level of success. And the same thing applies to people in real life. Some people are in situations where they can work their hardest and they have the work ethic. And I've worked in jobs, minimum wage jobs, where I know spouses and parents who are working 2 jobs, 16 hours a day just to feed their kids. The problem isn't that people are lazy or that people lack a work ethic. The problem is these people don't have an opportunity to work hard and be successful. They don't have the opportunity to make their hard work mean something. And what All Might did for Deku was he gave him the opportunity to actually have a goal to work towards. Because up until that point, Deku was working hard to learn all of these things about these heroes and didn't really know what it was actually going to get him. Of course, he could have started working out before, but it wouldn't have meant anything. But because All Might gave him this opportunity, it actually means something. Hard work isn't going to pay off unless someone gives you a payoff. Someone gives you the opportunity to make it pay off. I mean, I've worked hard on plenty of things in my life and had it mean absolutely nothing. And Midoriya, or Deku's whole story, is to show that some people can work their absolute hardest and not have it change anything. And it's the fact that he has the opportunity to change things that makes this story so spectacular. But we're talking about why My Hero Academia is so widely successful. And even if you're not one of those people who can empathize with Deku, there's still so many real-world themes for you to attach to within My Hero Academia. Like Uraraka being down to earth enough to say, yeah, I'm becoming a hero for the money. Because her family has a history of financial hardship, and she wants to be able to provide for her family. And it's really a character motivation that makes people actually ask themselves, like for those of us who don't already think this, why should someone who risks their life to help society and do a service for the world around them, why should they not be allowed to make enough money to support themselves and their family? And even with All Might, his inability to carry on as the #1 hero that he once was is an existential feeling that a lot of people have to face at some point in their life. And sometimes it's not even as big as something that you worked your entire life for. Sometimes it's just graduating high school and not knowing where your life is going to go afterwards, and realizing that all the experiences you had as a high schooler, all the things that you maybe didn't do, it's all gone, and your opportunity to have those experiences is over, and you can never go back. Like, you're moving forward, and time doesn't stop, and it doesn't go backwards, and you're just gonna keep getting older. And also things like, you know, maybe just like your hair falling out. Like, once it falls out, it's never gonna come back. Like, a lot of the people who, because like, you know, my hair is kind of falling out, and a lot of people I've talked to about it, like, it's usually not even a thing of, like, going bald, because I know I'm gonna look good bald. I'm gonna be bald one day, I'm gonna rock it, I'm gonna own it, I don't care. But the thing is like, a lot of guys and girls, because guys aren't the only ones who go bald, a lot of them, it's not about being bald, it's about the fact that you have this thing, that, like, your entire life, this is there, and then one day it's just gone. And you know it doesn't come back. And it's like an existential thing, where it's like, once that threshold is crossed, it's crossed. Like, you gotta keep going. And that's what All Might's whole struggle is about. Like, once he is no longer All Might, he's no longer All Might. Once he stops being the #1 hero, he can't go back and decide he wants to be a #1 hero again. And he kind of has to deal with the fact that those are the cards he's dealt with. The same way that you have to deal with all these things that happen when you get older. Maybe your hair falls out, maybe your teeth fall out, maybe you can't do the job that you enjoyed doing for 50 years. And my point is all of these feelings, all of these ideas that My Hero Academia covers are real world things that people encounter. These are real insecurities, real fears that resonate with people. And to see someone else dealing with that same thing that we're insecure about, that we are afraid of happening to us, it makes it less scary. It makes it more familiar to us. And to see someone like Deku actually overcome these things gives us hope that we can do it as well. But beyond all the mushy stuff, let's just look at how culture is these days as far as media. The pop culture and the media of today has basically set My Hero Academia up for success. People gravitate a demand that My Hero Academia supplies. The biggest franchise in film today is the MCU. Nerd culture has blown up over the last 10 years, and now it's more mainstream than it has ever been. Comic book characters are more mainstream than they have ever been, even if not everyone really knows the source material. Everyone knows Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. If you go outside right now, and you go up to someone and ask them who Spider-Man is, they're going to know who you're talking about. You can't say that about a lot of things. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-year-old or a 100-year-old. They're gonna know who Spider-Man is. You can't say that about, like, Steven Universe. You can't say that about, what else is popular these days? Jersey Shore. Why was Jersey Shore the first thing that came to my mind? That's, like, from 2009. That's, like, 10 years ago. Jesus Christ, I am old. I'm only 21, I shouldn't be calling myself old. But my point is, even though comic book characters have always been big, now they're bigger than ever. 4 of the top 10 highest grossing films of all time are superhero movies, and 13 of the top 20 are mostly superhero movies that came out within the last 5 years. So now you take anime, which is probably the biggest it's ever been in the West, with all the weebs who grew up watching Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, or One Piece, and now they're adults who have disposable incomes, or they're having kids, or they're making their own stories and referencing these animes that people will go back and look for the source of, and then when they go back and find the reference to Naruto, they get bit by the weeb bug and then they start watching anime. So in this current era of media, 2 of the biggest, most beloved genres out there are anime and superheroes. And My Hero Academia manages to bring those two together in a cohesive way. So they combine these 2 genres in a way that works. They have characters that resonate with people, and they have a consistent stream of content updating their story, and then bam, that's basically what makes it so popular. It's the fact that it has all these things. It checks off all the right boxes, and then bam, you have a cultural phenomenon. So I believe that all these combined factors have given My Hero Academia the ability to have the impact that it's had. And I also believe that despite the validity of criticisms of the show, we shouldn't stand on a high horse and look down at the people who love this show. As easy as it is to go to a convention and roll your eyes at the sea of My Hero Academia cosplayers that will definitely be there, or question those fans' knowledge or dedication to anime as an art form, I believe that we should instead appreciate what this has done for so many people. We should appreciate that sense of community, that camaraderie that people have with the fact that a piece of art has resonated with them so much that they are now inspired to go out and practice their own art, or to even become better people in the real world, to go to the gym, to go out and be a hero to someone even in the smallest way, and try and put more positivity out there into the world, because that's what art should be about. It's not just about making this cool thing that's gonna get a ton of recognition and get you a bunch of Twitter followers and money. It should be about inspiring people to become better than they already are. It's about trying to improve people's lives by maybe not even just inspiring them, but by giving them a community to be a part of, giving them a way to socialize with other people, have that common interest, have that common thread going through society so that people can connect with one another. That's the point of art. That's the point of telling stories. It's that we can all become closer as a human race. And that's something that My Hero Academia has been able to do. And that in and of itself is not something that we should be critical of. Rather, it's something that we should appreciate and celebrate and be thankful for the fact that things like this exist. Because maybe not My Hero Academia specifically, but these types of events, this type of media is what makes life worth living. It's what makes our society and the world we live in worth protecting and nurturing. Anyways, I just said a lot of things. My throat kind of hurts. My name is Tom, and that's about all I got to say. I don't feel like turning off the camera. It can turn off itself. Thank you for watching Let's Talk with Tom on the Roundtable, but Tom isn't just on the Roundtable. I have my own self-titled personal channel. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Snapchat, I have all that good stuff. In fact, I even have a Tumblr. So, if you're interested in any of that, check that out, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!